send you to a dance
Lube Off.
Hands off, no trash talk, no backwalk. On the black top, just me, you, that's all. No catcalls, no tag teams, no mascots. Right now,
Lube
dance
Off.
off.
No. Not needed.
I need all your lubricants. What do you mean what I need? I need all your lubricants. I need all the lube. All the lube. Except for that WD. But send me 1 can of all the other lubricants. Yeah, I don't need a graphite either. But send me a can of all the lube. Because I need lube. I need all the lubricants.
Dry Lube with Teflon. We're going to try that out.
No better than ask that question.
There's a dry
Just send me
Lube.
1 can of all the lubricants. So let me explain what we're going to do. I've got 19 cylinders here. Each one is going to have its own lubricant. I'm going to stamp each cylinder with the lubricant. And then I'm going to replace this open design, normal Schlage style cap, with one that's slightly different. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's going to block the keyhole just a little bit. And the reason I'm doing that is because when the lock is in a door, the tailpiece that goes into it will block the back cylinder like this. So in essence, that is blocking the open hole if this was mounted in a door. And I'm going to remove this and put this style in, which while it does leave a little bit of opening, it also kind of gives us about the same amount of blockage this would do in the lock. And if we take one apart, we will see that there is a little hole recessed in the back of these Schlages, and that sits down in there. So that is pretty much totally sealing that hole up, except for a little bit of gap. I did want to find some disc, and I have not found enough disc to do this with, but I may find them later to totally seal the hole up. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and switch all these out, and I'm going to key them up to 5, 6, 7, 9, 5. So that's going to start us off kind of medium. And the reason I'm doing that is because I've got Schlage original pins here, and I've got plenty of just those. So we're going to be using nickel silver pins, brass cylinder locks, and all the same code cut key to take any variances out of each lock. And then we're going to hose them down with a contact cleaner, not this brand but a different brand contact cleaner. I'm going to do that because some of these locks may still have your powdered graphite that they used to put in there. So that way, is I didn't want any mistakes with copying. I wanted the angle tips perfect on every one of them and as accurate as possible for everyone. So I went ahead and just code cut all 19 of them. That way there was no discrepancies between keys. And now I'm going to key them up. Okay, so lubricant is used for other stuff besides just the key cylinders. And one of the frequent things that needs to be lubricated is the latch. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I have 17 of these old short Deadbolt latches, Schlage as well. All of them are practically, they're all kind of dirty because they've just been, you know, sitting out and exposed. But what I'm going to do here is go through and check them, make sure they come out easily on every one. And then I'm going to spray cleaner over them to get any surface, you know, anomalies. Okay, so this one's not a good choice, so that's not good. So I'm going to go through, just make sure they work, and spray them down with a cleaner, and then use them all along with a cylinder for our test subjects. So now I'm going to, while I've got the latches washing, I'm going to go ahead and start the process of rekeying these cylinders. And I'm going to try my best to keep them in order on my super long plug follower here. Checking each cylinder, and they are all pretty clean. If I run across any with any lubricant or anything in there, I will switch it out to a different cylinder, but otherwise, here we go with this. Alright, all the plugs look good. Go ahead and give them one dose of contact cleaner. And key them up real quick. And put them back together. So we have some resistance on these three. All of them are perfect, except for these three are tight and are not acting quite right. So I'm going to take them apart, possibly have to replace them because I want them all working perfect. These all work very smooth and identical. So I'm going to take these back apart, see what the problem is, and possibly have to replace those. Alrighty, I'm going to run through them real quick, and every one of them has just about the same amount of force and smoothness.
However, I'm still going to hit them all with contact cleaner to get any, just to equal everything out. As you can see, everything here is working pretty much the same as each other. And all of them turn each way smoothly. So once I hit them with contact cleaner and let them dry, then we're going to progress to the first phase of lubrication. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 of them. And 19 types of lube. Alrighty. Here we go, guys. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply lubricant to the cleaned cylinder and to a latch. I'm going to do it right there. And we're going to mimic this on a door. Now, obviously, you could not get to this part without taking the lock off. And I will say some of these, like Teflon and a couple of the other ones, are made to take apart, put on the surface, and then put back together. But we're just going to lubricate it like somebody would do in the field. Say a homeowner went and bought one of these lubricants. They're just going to put it in the keyhole and maybe throw that out and put it on there. So that's what we're going to do. We're not going to apply lube here at all. And again, I've gone through all these latches and they are all fairly similar. So I'll apply lube here and pull the latch in and out a couple of times, and we're going to go through each one. So let's just get started. I'm going to box each one together so that we can keep track of it, and I'm going to lube these up, and I'm going to leave them in the boxes for a few days. Then I'm going to take them out and probably put them in a bag with some moisture in it so that we can simulate some moisture. So anyway, here we go. Let's start. Okay, so I'm gonna let all this sit over the weekend. Saturday now, so Monday morning when I come in, I'm going to carefully move everything to a stationary place, and then as the days or whatever go by, we are going to open them back up, lube them again, and then at some point we're going to introduce humidity and moisture. I don't have a lid for that. That's not good. My lid has. Oh, here it is. So yeah, we're gonna introduce some moisture to that in a few days, and see what happens over the course of, I don't know, a week or so. But anyway, that is it. This video is sponsored by Jet. I'm just joking. I mean, Jet, y'all can definitely send me some, cool stuff to review, like keys, but obviously I buy Jet keys. But anyway, that's our lubricant thing. So we're gonna let this bake, and we'll see you when I open them back up in a few days. It'll be Monday. Probably not gonna open them until Monday afternoon. So let them bake for a good 48 hours. All right. All right, y'all, it has been a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, somewhere around a week and a half. What I did was I lubricated all these with each one of the lubricants, and then I set them out for about 3 or 4 days, just sitting in the boxes. And then I stuck them in the freezer, put them all in the freezer, and left them for about 3 or 4 days. Took them out and then let them sit for a couple more days. So at this point I have I still got to put the keys in certain boxes because they did not get put in there, and I'm going to go ahead and do that now while I'm talking. Because at this point I'm going to try the keys, and what that'll do will be to tell me kind of where I'm at on the lubricant part of it, and also will help tell me exactly what I need to do. I don't think my pennies have done much good. It's like a whatever thing, really. The pennies were kind of a joke, and I see a couple of them have separated. I know. Wait a minute. I'm way out of keys here. Well, that's not good. Alright, well, as I go through them, I'm going to put the right key. I think I maybe doubled up on some keys here. So I'm going to try the key, and then I'm going to recode it one more time. And I'm going to speed that part up because, again, this video is super long. So anyway, here we go, and then I'm going to box them up and leave them for another few days, and probably stop at that point and inspect them or something. And we're just going to be done with this video. But anyway, here we go. Going to lubricate each one of them with the same lubricant, and put the key in, check it, see what it's doing, and then let it sit again, maybe throw it in the freezer for a couple more days. And then at some point I'm going to put them out in the rain and let them get all corroded or whatever, and then see what we can do with that. So anyway, there we go. Okay, that was, did I mention that I freaking, oh yeah, I don't have to say it. Graphite, please people, do not use graphite. Jesus. Okay, there we go, guys. That was a hell of a lot of fun. I'm so over this video. But it's going in the freezer. And I'm going home because I'm running late. So I'm going to go home and try to wash my hands 53,000 times to get that off.
Shake that.
These are directly out of the freezer, and so they are still cold. I'm going to put them out and check keys. Some of them did not have keys, so I'm going to go ahead and check the keys while they're cold. To simulate cold conditions, I had lubricated all these about a week ago. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try the keys while it's cold. Make sure it turns all the way around. And then try the latch with the key also while it's cold. And then for our starting in on phase 3, and that was LPS, by the way. Love LPS, is working beautifully. And then we are gonna go saltwater. It doesn't say saltwater, but there is saltwater. I filled it up to here with salt and then put water in and shook it up. So this is extremely salty salt water. I'm going to hold the lock in a bag and then dribble a little bit of salt water into it, seal the bag up, and set it aside for a few more days. And I'm hoping to wrap this up Saturday, guys, so we will hopefully have a good video out Sunday on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all this out right now, and we'll get started. Okay guys, so I got them all checked. I am charting all this out so that we will have the information later. And now I'm gonna go ahead and do the bagging and water dropping. And after that, I am not gonna freeze them. I'm gonna let them, they're gonna be cold when I put this salt water in, put them in the bag, and then I'm pretty much gonna let it evaporate. And what we're gonna have is this brass is gonna get corroded, and it's pretty much going to ruin all these cylinders, but that's why I chose these cylinders. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and just bag and drop, so we'll just speed that part up.
Do you want to play rough? Okay. Hello to my little friend.
Alright, so there we have it, guys. I put about 10 drops in each bag of pretty good, pretty healthy salt water, really salty salt water. And not going back in the freezer. Kind of want to see what the lubricant does to protect that in normal conditions. I'm thinking if it thaws out with that salt water and then it's allowed to dry for a couple of days, and then maybe Friday afternoon or Saturday, I'm going to go ahead and take them out, take them apart, inspect everything, and we're going to make a final decision then, because I'm getting tired of doing this video. So anyway, these are going to bake for a few days in salt water. Alright y'all, now we're going to take them out of the plastic bags, and I'm going to hold up the bag to show you how dirty it is. This is white powdered lubricant, and we can see how nasty that is. Then we're gonna let them dry tonight, so tomorrow they'll be dried out, hopefully. So here we go. Okay, y'all, that was very interesting. About halfway through it, I decided that I did not need to be time-lapsing it, and I should have just recorded it to make observations. But I did write the observations down on my sheet. Now, we're going to share those findings at the end of all this. But what was interesting, it was how many came out looking nasty. So I marked them down as rusty, nasty, or clean. Rusty, nasty, clean. So now that we know that, we know what to look for in the end. And I marked them down on the sheet, but some of those results really surprised me. I don't know where the rust came from, but if we look at my Teflon one, it was the absolute worst of the bunch. We can compare it to, say, a TriFlow. Look at that. Now I know the rust probably came from these, but Teflon with salt water, TriFlow with salt water. Huge difference in some of these. So this has been a very worthwhile test, and like I said, I've got them marked down, but they range from, again, super nasty to super rusty to clean to light rust clean, so that's not as rusty as some of the other ones. We see a huge difference there. But remember, all these were clean, sprayed off beforehand, so there was no like particles or anything in the locks. This is simply from the combination of salt water and whatever lube was with the lock. So we can see some huge issues with some of them there. I marked them down. I'm going to let these soak, and then tomorrow, or not soak, but they're going to dry tonight, because tomorrow I'm going to take them all apart. Oh, it's going to be a pain in the ass. And then we're going to share our findings with it, and we're going to decide which one of these lubricants would be best for cold weather, salt water, or salty air. I mean, that's the closest we're going to be able to do to salty air, salt water. Corrosion, resistance, and helping corrosion. So anyway, that's that for right now, and tomorrow is the big day for me, so that's it. Look at that. That's just huge difference in them across the board. I mean, that's just crazy how some of them that I thought would not do what they did do worse. So that's why I'm doing this test. So anyway, see you guys tomorrow. All right, y'all, this is it. This is the end. I'm tired of messing with cylinders and lubricant. How I'm going to do this is I'm going to grade each one on a pass, which is green, meh, which is yellow, red is fail, or pink, however you want to call that. I've got the results all written up and actually graphed out with my final recommendation. We started with 19 lubricants. We ended with 19 lubricants, and there are definitely pass and definitely fail choices, some of which may be surprising. So let's get started, and here we go. It may evolve as I'm going, but I'm going to try to do it quick to keep this short. And I'm going to take a picture, a close-up picture, after I show you the lock. I'm going to try the key on camera. I'm going to try the latch on camera. I'm going to do a close-up of the lock taken apart to show you build-up. So here we go. Pass. Ultralube. Ultralube is in a 12-ounce can for $7.50. It is a pretty heavy lubricant with a sweet-smelling spray. Very smooth cylinder. However, we do have some rust forming on the metal. The latch, no signs of buildup, and works very well. The salt check was clean, has good properties, it's a good eco-friendly lubricant. We're going to put the passes over here, and then we're going to inspect the lock. Meh. Alright, so this is the PB Blaster Multi-Lube. Comes in a couple of different sizes, 3 ounce for $1.98, 12 ounce for $2.98. Available both home stores. It's got a Teflon fluoropolymer compound, and it is kind of a sickly sweet smell, but it lubricates good on both the cylinder and the latch. No problems. However, we did have light rust, and the product does state that it is supposed to stop rust. Fail! Unfortunately, Mil-Comm LockSaver. Mil-Comm LockSaver is sold through locksmith distributors and specialty places. 4.2 ounce, $11.96 is the list price on it. It's a synthetic lubricant that is specific to locks. Key's hard going in. Ooh. It's very kind of sticky. We don't have quite as much. We do have a little bit of rust going on. And our latch suffered the worst of this. We have heavy buildup. I don't know how. Maybe this is something in the metal, but it's all the way around. There's a heavy buildup. Also, while it works fairly well, we had issues with it, and the creamy nature of the saltwater bath did not add up really well with me. Based on the price, the size, the smell, which is very propane-y smell, propane-y gassy when I say propane smell, the buildup on the latch, and the creamy nature, with it being a quote specialty lubricant specifically for locks, we had to fail that one, unfortunately. Fail. Nano Pro MT. Nano diamonds have failed. Nano diamonds have failed because we have too much rust for a product that states it's a corrosion fighter. It did nothing to protect against corrosion. Even so, on the back it says stay away from salt water. It is a 11-ounce can for $10.83, found at Lowe's. Dry Lube, it advertises Nano Diamonds. It's It's got a heavy propane smell to it. The cylinders and the latch were all fine throughout testing. However, once we got to the saltwater moisture test, that's where it failed miserably. It would have made a meh category, but because it does still work well. However, when something advertises heavily that it protects against corrosion and it doesn't, it goes under fail. Time for another pass, and it is a locksmith favorite, TriFlow. TriFlow is available in 4 ounce, $6.99, 6 ounce, $8.99, 12 ounce, $14.99. It's a PTFE based lubricant. It's a sweet smell. It's very heavy and a thick lubricant. Throughout, we had okay in the beginning, and then extremely good the second round. And we also have almost no rust or discoloration. And the latch works extremely well. So we have a definite win on the TriFlow. Time for another fail, and it is white powdered lubricant, or powdered white lubricant. This is a AGS product, and it comes in a 0.21 ounce size for $2.49 at Ace. Do not snort it, so we don't know what it smells like. I imagine it's like a chalky smell. It has moderate to light buildup, which we were expecting in the cylinder, and it is kind of rough after the applications. We also had a sticky latch and buildup, again expected buildup, and the salt check was one of the worst ones. It was horrible, it was nasty and black, and it provided absolutely no corrosion resistance whatsoever. Okay, one of the more spectacular fails is Teflon, 100% Teflon powder. Now, I will mention, even though it's a fail, I will mention Teflon really is designed for climate-controlled environments. As I mentioned, I ordered this tub of it. We did a long time ago, like 20 years ago. It's about a pound container. It was between $80 and $100. Sold by a fast-talking snake oil salesman, which I did not have control over purchasing at that time. 100% Teflon. Don't snort it. Again, don't snort the white powder. Imagine it smells chalky as well if you did. It does build up. It does have a little buildup in the cylinder. And where it spectacularly failed was the salt test. The salt test horribly interacted with the brass. However, it does still work well on the inside. It was pretty much the second worst nasty black left over, which really affected the cylinder, as we can see. So, fail except for a climate control environment. Okay, this one floated between meh and fail. I had a little bit of trouble deciding between them, but comparing it to some of the fails, I went ahead and did meh. And it is Supertech Lube from Walmart. Surprisingly, was not bad. This is a presumably Walmart product. It is non-US, so that kind of floats it off into the fail category. 8 ounce for $1.97. It is definitely one of the cheapest lubricants that you can buy. It has a sweet smell. It is very squirty when you squirt it. It did remarkably well for the testing for the lubrication, both phases. However, it did fail pretty bad with saltwater. So if you're not near saltwater environments, it is a good product. If you are, it is definitely a fail because it came out really rusty. However, looking at it on the back, it is not that rusty. So we're going to leave it in the meh category. Meh. And we have another hard to decide category. We have muff and fail. Muff and fail for liquid wrench lubricating oil. And again, we had some very good corrosion fighting abilities. However, when I took it out, it was rusty. This is 5.5 ounces for $3.84. It's a Surflon, which is ceramically reinforced PTFE. It's very mild, gassy smell to it, and it is heavy foam. It's a heavy lubricant. Throughout the testing, it causes the cylinders to drag and be very sluggish and sticky. The latch as well has definite sluggish characteristics to it. So it is going to have to go in the fail for this one because I passed Supertech. So for locks, I'm going to have to fail that one. Okay, we have one in the definite meh category, and guess what it is? Yeah, definitely WD-40 is meh. It had decent corrosion resistance, and it worked decently all the way across the board. 3 ounce is $2.88, and then it goes up to all these specialty lubricants, but we're just basing this on the regular WD-40. It is, known as the cure-all formula. It does everything. It is sweet smelling. It's very squirty. It first phase was all okay. Second phase was all okay. We had light rust in the bag. However, it's, it is what it is with WD-40. Everybody's going to have WD-40, so it is a somewhat acceptable lubricant for not necessarily long-term, but for backup or for just checking things out, like sticky cylinders. So, time for another meh. Today we have 3-in-1 Lock Dry Lube. 3-in-1 Lock Dry Lube, found at Lowe's, 2.5 ounces for $3.99. It's expensive. It is specific to locks, I will point that out. It is a heavy propane smell, very light, dry. Obviously, dry lube comes on light and dry. Throughout the testing, the cylinders remained fine and working correctly. Trying it now after it's saltwater. Seems to be working good. The only caveat is, to me, it's pretty expensive for the size. However, it's a good toolbox size, and the came out clean, no rust, so it does protect against rust. So, meh. And we have a total pass now with LPS1. LPS1 is got mine at Ace. It is a 11-ounce can for $13.99. It states it's a greaseless lube. It is good for everything. It performed flawlessly throughout all the tests and has no issue with corrosion. The salt water came out perfectly clean. And I'm going to drop that, but the latch works fine as well. So it is definitely a pass. And also, I might note, is used, it is got dielectric properties, so you can use it on electrical equipment. I'm not going to say my opinion right now till the end, but there you go, we have a pass. Here we are at a fail, and it is PB Blaster Dry Lube with Teflon. Found at Home Depot, but I think you can find it at Lowe's. 9.3 ounce for $4.49. Also Teflon fluoropolymer, just like the Multi-Lube. Presumably this has Teflon. They both have Teflon in it. Propane smell. It's a clear lube. However, both tests were, the cylinder was okay in one test. The latch was bad in both test. And we had a pretty bad fail on the Saltwater. It was lightly creamy and rusty. Not as bad as some, but definitely had issues with corrosion. And the latch was sticky throughout the test and has a heavy buildup and corrosion issues. So, fail. And we have a fail, and it is 3-in-1 oil. It failed because you really don't need to use this. This is not really a lock lubricant. It did well in the corrosion test. 3-in-1, 3 ounce, $3.99 oil, heavy oil. It's like a gun smell oil if you've ever used like a gun cleaner. Very oily throughout it. The latch was very slow and sticky, and it came out, looks like it came out rusty, even though we don't see a lot of rust here. But it does work the cylinder fairly well, but it is very sluggish, and that is because it is a heavier oil base. So maybe good for extreme environments, but overall don't use 3-in-1 for locks anyway. Time for a pass, and it is Houdini. I'm sorry, that wasn't turned around right. Houdini is a locksmith supplied for locks. It is a non-petroleum base. It is safe for everything, for electrical components. It's a citrus smell. Some people have said that the smell of this has changed. It used to be all citrus, like an orange, and then people started saying that it started smelling a little more chemically, and I agree with that. It is not quite as citrusy as it was. There's a little bit more of a chemical back to it. However, throughout the test, it was perfect all the way through the saltwater test. Very, 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 very light, if any, corrosion there, and did wonderfully. It's a very light lube. However, I notated also that these cans are 11 ounce for 1045 list, but because you can use it as a cleaner as well, you can clean and lubricate at the same time. Those cans tend to go pretty fast because with cleaner you clean and spray longer. So just a note, it does pass, but you go through it quite a bit. Okay, we have a sleeper, we have a surprise. This is a pass, and it is Ace brand Lube-E. Not like Wally the robot, but Lube-E. 11 ounce can available at Ace Hardware for $3.99. It is a petroleum-based lubricant. It is a citrus smell chemical. It is a foamy lubricant as well. All throughout we had good, it's also made in the USA. We had good results throughout the test, and it has pretty decent corrosion fighting properties. And we had clean come out of it, of the saltwater bath. So, surprising pass, especially for the price of it. You just never know. Time for another meh. And it is a specific. Now, I did meh that. This is a specific lubricant, Lok Shot by Supertech. This kind of is really just for like automotive and other stuff. It's 9 ounces. The list price is $17.28, so it's really expensive. No known ingredients, except it does say no petroleum. There's not really a smell to it. It's a heavy, thicker, greasy-like substance. So throughout the test, there was some slowness in the cylinder and a little bit of buildup, but it did work functionally for a lubricant, even with the buildup, and you can see it there, still on it and sticky. So again, it's a specific lubricant made for the automotive industry to go in automotive locks, and it did have a little bit of rust when it came out, and it does exhibit a little bit of rust there. But overall, for specific use, it's okay, but it's going to go in the meh category. Okay, second to last one, we've got a fail, and it is Lock-E's Graphite dry, or not dry, but lock fluid with flexible snorkel. Even though it comes with a flexible snorkel, it is still at its heart graphite, and while it did okay with some of the tests, we have a 3-ounce can for $3.49, so it's fairly expensive. It's graphite based and paraffinic spray. It does have a graphite smell like lead or something. Throughout the tests, they were okay, but they were really, really dirty. And based on other issues with graphite, I think then long term, and the water that it came out of was horrible. It was one of the worst ones as well. So we're gonna have to fail that one. That graphite just, very dirty, and the buildup on it. And while it did okay, not great with corrosion, you do have a lot more rust than you see normally with other stuff. So fail that one. Okay, if y'all been keeping track, I bet you know what this is. It is, that's right, powdered graphite. Don't even get me started on graphite. I've always said it, but it is 1.76 ounce. You can get little tubes for cheaper, but this one was $4.79 for 1 3/4 ounce. Pure graphite, ugh, rough, dirty the whole time. Has absolutely no corrosion. The key is really hard getting in. It is really hard turning. And you can see the super corrosion that it caused. People will say that it's fine for controlled environments, but controlled environments don't need this black dust floating everywhere either. So, of course, what we all expected, I hope nobody bet on it, but graphite is a fail. Alright, y'all, thanks for watching this long lubricant video. I hope that helps and helps you make your decision on which one you should purchase. We'll go ahead and flip this around. Some of them are variable. It really depends on the environment, but some of them are a definite fail. Some of them are a meh. And some of them are pass. There are different levels, of course, depending on what you're going to be using them for. But overall, we have a pass category, a category, and a definite fail, and then a fail, which I've separated those two over there. Overall, I think your best bet, in my opinion, is the LPS because it is dielectric and it is greaseless, and it really did the best job. Houdini comes in a close second because it is also dielectric, I believe. Well, no, I'll take that back. Does not say you can use it. Yep, dielectric. So that's a close second. However, it goes quicker, like I said, since it's like a cleaner lubricant. It's good for cleaning and lubricating. If you just need lubricant, you got to go LPS. Lube-E, the Ace, was a definite contender, believe it or not, one of the cheapest ones out there and a decent lubricant. I don't know about long term because this was only a couple of week thing. TriFlow, a favorite. However, TriFlow I don't believe is dielectric, so if you have to use it around electrical components, you would still need another lubricant. However, this is a choice of many locksmiths. Ultralube did come up with a little bit of corrosion on the back, but because of how biosafe and well it works for what it is, it fell in the pass. Several of these, I'm going to go ahead and just put this picture out here so that you can screenshot it. Here is the findings. And I'll try to provide a link or something for that. But if you want to screenshot that and go over it, these are the findings for all the products out here. Again, on the fail category, the Teflon, you know, some of those could have been used in just exact circumstances. Like if you've got a climate controlled room and you need a lubricant where it's never going to have moisture, never going to have salt water, never going to have any other lubricants put in, then the Teflon is a good one. Possibly the LockSaver, but it failed because it just acted funny to me. You know, I hate to say it because it is a locksmith supplied product, but I wasn't thrilled with the qualities of it. The liquid wrench and the 3-in-1 oil is a good heavier lubricant. They did kind of hold up well in the test, but they are a little bit too thick for normal use. However, if you're in an extremely cold environment or an extremely saltwater environment, they would work well because they keep the lubricant, or they keep the thing from rusting up. Lok Shot falls in the meh category because it's a little expensive and it's kind of just for automotive locks. So there we go. If y'all have any questions, I'm sure you're going to have comments on this. Be sure to hit me up, and I appreciate you guys sticking with me through the whole video. And again, I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all know what not to use, right? Y'all have a great day, and again, hit me up with the comments. Tell me which one's your favorite. Hopefully it's in this category. Thanks again, y'all. Have a good one.